Nana is waiting when I get off the bus. She's the only adult around. I'd be embarrassed if I weren't so relieved to be done with my first day. I tap my toe 3 times as she wraps me in a hug. How was it? Judging by her huge smile, I'd say she's expecting to hear good news. If I tell you it was terrible, that everyone thinks I'm a freak, that I probably caught a disease from accidentally touching the bus's handrail, that the teachers act like prison guards, and that I hated all 400 minutes of it, will you still make me go back? Yes, I shrug. Then it was fine. I walk toward our building. Lucy, Nana follows me. And what do you know about prison guards? That's not a fair comparison. This whole thing isn't fair. You think you're the first kid who doesn't want to go to school? Please. Nana walks ahead of me. She opens the door so I don't have to touch it. It's only 1 year. I repeat to myself. I can suffer through a year of middle school, but it still seems like a waste. I should be dedicating my life to solving the unsolvable problems of mathematics, like the Riemann hypothesis or the Hodge conjecture. Your uncle wants you to call him, Nana says as she turns on the TV. He wants to hear all about your big day. Try not to complain too much. I use my new cell phone. Nana, Uncle Paul, and our neighbor, Mrs. Chapman, are the only people whose numbers are programmed into it. Not that I need the phone number saved, they're all locked in my brain. Hey, genius, Uncle Paul answers. How was? The phone call breaks in and out, but I know what he's asking. It was the absolute worst. I say this loud enough for Nana to hear. I want her to know I need more than her prayers. I need out of that school. Middle school is supposed to be the worst. It's like a giant hazing for adulthood. We all gotta go through it. No, we don't. Lucy, come on, you can do this. The line cuts out again. I don't belong there. I twist my lightning bolt necklace. Have you ever heard the saying, fake it till you make it? Yes. I don't know, maybe. It means you gotta act like you belong or act like you can do something and eventually you'll be able to do it. That doesn't make any sense. He gives an exaggerated sigh. Go to school tomorrow with a big smile on your face and act like you belong there. Why do all adults think smiling is the answer? I do belong there, but only according to my age and the law. That's right, and act like you belong at the popular lunch table and on the chess or basketball team or whatever extracurricular you want to do. Eventually, you'll go from faking it to making it. It's all about confidence. Are you writing this down? No. You should be. I'm basically giving you the secret to life, kiddo. No charge. Gee, thanks. Hey, I gotta go. Call me later if you need more advice. And at some point, we need to talk about boys. I've got a lot to say on the subject. Okay? Love you, genius. Love you, too. I put my phone away and grab a box of Oreos from the cabinet. So, what did Uncle Paul have to say? Nana asks from the living room. He told me to be fake. I shove a cookie into my mouth. That's horrible. You need to be yourself, Lucy. Give it time. I'm giving it 1 year. That was the deal. I take another cookie and get some milk from the fridge. We don't have any real homework today. Nana just needs to sign a few papers, that's all. I kind of wanted math homework. That would have been something fun to do. Maybe other kids at other schools are luckier than I am and actually got a signed math problem. Oh, I'm sure all of you are in agreement with Lucy right here. I go to my room and log on to my favorite site, MathWiz. I've been tagged in 14 forum questions. Lightning Girl, help! I love you, Lightning Girl. LG, if you can solve this freaking problem, I'm going to marry you and we'll make little lightning babies. Okay, that last one was super creepy. Maddie may rule at East Hamlin. Wendy might know everything about everyone, but here, I'm queen. Nana goes to work at Cracker Barrel, and I stay on the computer until 10 p.m., solving people's problems and chatting with Squarehead 314. Squarehead 314, you were missed today. I had class. What are you teaching? Is it lying if I don't correct him? It's only an intro class, nothing exciting. Glad you could still make it for us. Trust me, I'd rather be here. Something tells me that, Squarehead 314 doesn't know she's in 7th grade. Chapter 8. I won't admit it to anyone, but I'm looking forward to math class. I'm sure Mr. Stoker will spend the year covering topics I mastered when I was 8, but to me, it's like hearing a favorite band sing an old song or rewatching a favorite episode of Supernatural. Math class doesn't start right away because we are assigned our lockers during first period. Mr. Stoker hands us each a sheet with our locations and combinations. My combo is 48, 9, 27. All divisible by 3. Multiplied together, they equal 11,664, and that number has a perfect square root, 108. Wow. My locker isn't nearly as impressive. 250B. The B means that it's on the bottom, and it's directly below Maddie, 250A. Maybe the worst location in the school. Wendy's locker is in a different section on the other side of the door to room 213. Levi is sort of a neighbor. His locker is 252B. He doesn't say anything as he throws some books in, slams the door closed, and locks it. Maddie takes her time placing binders and hanging a mirror. I wait for her to finish before disinfecting my lock. I want to clean my locker quickly. I want to get back to math class. I open another wipe. I'm going to need at least 3 more. Crumbs and pencil shavings cover the bottom, and it smells like wet shoes. I clean the sides and the back and the hooks. It's the locker's floor that's a problem. Each pass of the cloth collects grime, debris, and even hair. 1 more minute, Mr. Stoker warns. Only 2 other girls are still in the hallway. I open another wipe. 5 wrappers lie on the ground. If I use any more now, I won't have enough for the rest of the day. I scrub until the cloth rips. My locker is still not sanitized. My neck is hot. I hear blood rushing through my ears. The digits of pi tick through my brain. 3.141592653. I tap my toe 3 times to make the numbers fade away. Maybe I can get some paper towels and spray from a janitor. Back to your seats, please, Mr. Stoker says. The other girls slam their doors closed. I do too, without putting anything inside my locker. I can't. May I use the bathroom? I ask as the others go back into the classroom. Lucy, it's time to... He stares at the used wipes and wrappers in my hands. Make it quick. In the girls' room, I throw away the garbage and quickly wash my hands using 3 squirts of soap. On the way back to class, I use 3 pumps of hand sanitizer. Mr. Stoker is at the front of the room, erasing the whiteboard. I haven't missed anything. Was he watching for me? I sit, stand, sit, stand, sit in my seat. Someone clears a throat, someone else sighs. Maybe they're disgusted by me, or maybe they're just classroom noises? You decide, are they annoyed with her, or are they just classroom noises? I take on my mechanical pencil. Mr. Stoker finally turns around, ready to begin. My mind floods with the possibilities, personification. It could be something beautifully simple, even finding the area of a circle. Area equals pi r squared. Would be interesting. I love any formula that requires pi. If I ever got a tattoo, it would be pi. I expect him to pick up one of the dry erase markers that sit on the ledge. He doesn't. Well, maybe he's going to explain a theory using simple, clear terms. Instead, he walks to his desk and grabs a pile of papers. This is not a test. Still, most of the class groans on cue. This is an assessment, Mr. Stoker continues, to see where you are and where the class is as a whole. I'll use it to determine where we need to start. He gives the first person in each row a few sheets to pass back. Does it count for a grade? A boy behind me asks. No, but you should still do your best. You learned some of this stuff in 6th grade, and some of it you probably have not been taught. I raise my hand slowly and carefully, like I'm putting my arm inside a bee's nest. Simile. Lucy. I suddenly realize how weird my question is, and I try to think of another instead. I can't, so I just say what's on my mind. If we finish quickly, will you have time to start our first lesson? There's a distinct giggle. Maddie. Let's focus on the assessment today. I'd like everyone to take their time. If you're done early, check it over. The not a test sits on my desk. On the front page are 10 questions. I've already answered them all in my head. 41, 15, 2, x equals y squared, 1, comma, negative 1. I guess that's an ordered pair. 13-6. True, false. I turn to the second page. The answers fly into my head in a swirl of colorful number shapes. Simile. Or personification. Just kidding, personification. In less than 2 minutes, I'm done. At least in my weirdly wired brain. I haven't written anything yet. I look around the room. Heads are down, pencils are moving. Levi's desk is the closest. He's only written his name and some calculations under the first problem. He's got the answer wrong. Suddenly, Levi turns and looks at me. I drop my head like he caught me watching him get dressed. I take my hair out of my headband and try to hide my face. I can't see him, but somehow I still feel his eyes on me. Mr. Stoker turns on a small speaker. Classical music that reminds me of a jewelry store commercial fills the room. Relax, everyone, he says. Just do your best. I already know my best is going to be the class's best. I might even be better than Mr. Stoker. Probably. It's not his fault. I glance again at Levi's paper. He wrote 7 as an answer to question number 1, but he got his order of operations wrong. He needed to square before adding. The answer is 41. I write down 7. I can't hide my need to sit, stand, or tap my toe 3 times, or my obsession with de-germing any and all surfaces. But I can hide my superpower. They don't need to know. I'm not hurting anyone. I can fake it till I make it. I can fake being normal, and eventually I will be. Well, maybe. Slowly, I fill in the rest of the answers. I make 3 more mistakes. If this were for a grade, I'd get an 82, or a B. I plan on getting an A in the class. I don't want to ruin my chances of getting into college next year. Nana wants 1 year, 1 friend, 1 book, and 1 activity. I calculate this will be easier to achieve without being a freaky genius. I can't be normal smart. I can be normal smart. It's only middle school. This is about survival. She just got to get through her 1 year, 1 friend, 1 book, and 1 activity. Chapter 9. Nana's cell phone rings at 6:42. As we are cleaning up from dinner, I can tell from her face that she doesn't recognize the number on the ID. Hello? I carry our cups to the sink. This is she. Nana looks at me and raises an eyebrow. Usually I like to wash the dishes. I use the hottest water to rinse away all the food and microbes. But tonight I have an urge to run to my room. I turn. I'm too slow. Nana grabs my shoulder. Well, can she take it over? She pauses for an answer that I can't hear. I see. Pause. Certainly. Pause. Thanks for calling. Goodbye. She puts the phone down on the counter. Wrong number? I joke. That was your math teacher. He said you got a 0 on today's test. What? It wasn't even a test. It was an assessment. Lucy, what's going on? My face feels hot. I did not get a 0. It's what he said. Nods her hands up. Is this a cry for help, Lucy? Are you trying to prove some point? Because I don't get it. Your old grandmother isn't as smart as you. Tell me what's going on. I did not get a 0. Shout. I got an 82. Lower your voice. Mrs. Chapman is going to hear you yelling through the walls. Nana reaches for me, but I step back. Tell me what's going on. Want to go to my room, but I know she'll follow me, and the lock on the door doesn't work. I got a few answers wrong on purpose. I didn't want to stick out any more than I already do. I promise I didn't get a 0. He made a mistake. You took a dive on a math test? Well, that's out of character. An 82 isn't exactly a dive, and it's not a secret cry for help. I don't want to go to that school. You know that, Nana. But if I have to be there, I don't want to be the savant or the genius. I don't want to be the cleaning lady either. Suit yourself. At least you're developing some acting skills, in case you decide you don't want to devote your whole life to math. She wiggles her eyebrows at me. And you should be a comedian. I wiggle my eyebrows back. Maybe I will. She turns to the sink. Your teacher wants you to stay after school tomorrow. I'll pick you up at 3 o'clock. Fine. I go to my room and log on to Math Quiz. My life is still homework-free. I help in the calculus forum for 30 minutes, and then I check out the trigonometry page. Square root 314 has already answered the most interesting questions. I send him or her a message. Lightning Girl, you didn't leave anything fun for me. Squarehead, it's the beginning of the school year. Squarehead, not a lot of fun happening yet. Lightning Girl, true. Squarehead, if you're bored. Squarehead, why don't you set up tomorrow's problem of the day? Squarehead 314 and Hippopotamus put up a ridiculously easy math problem on the forum every day. Usually something like, Susie and Sammy are going to brunch with 8 other people. What's the probability that they will each sit next to each other? Lightning Girl, okay. Squarehead 314, but don't make it too hard this time. No one got your last one. Lightning Girl, you did. Aim a little lower. Lightning Girl, that's my new motto. Chapter 10. Math Mystery Solved. I got every answer wrong on my math assessment because I did not show my calculations. I thought I was careful, but I failed to read the first line of instructions. Show all work. I'm not the only one who screwed up. Levi has to stay after school with me. Mr. Stoker asks us both to sit in the front row. I sit at Wendy's desk. I don't wipe it down, but I don't touch it either. Mr. Stoker pulls his wooden stool over and half sits on it. Mathematics is not only about getting the correct answer. It's about being on the road to the correct answer. Knowing the path can be just as important as knowing the solution. I completely disagree, but stay quiet. Math is about right answers and proving the right answers. I love mathematical proof, but I don't think we'll get into them in 7th grade. If you take each problem a step at a time, he continues, you'll grow the answer organically. The process will take root in your brain. This is true learning. He folds his hands and closes his eyes like he's meditating. I'll show my work from now on, I say, staring at the not-clean desk. Out of the corner of my eye, I see Levi nod. Good, but that's not the only issue here. You had similar answers. Only 2 were actually different, and considering that most of your incorrect answers were identical, you can understand why I need to speak with you. What? He holds up the test. Levi wrote down the same answers as I did for 8 of the 10 questions on the first page. Sure, I'd copied the wrong answer for question number 1. Now I realize how stupid that was. Major miscalculation. Mr. Stoker stays very calm, which makes me both nervous and sad. I've already decided he's my favorite teacher. He did a nice job today reviewing how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide exponents. Not hard concepts, but he got really excited and he gave us M&Ms. So, who borrowed answers from whom and why? He asked. This was not for a grade. The motive for cheating on the second day of school is unclear to me, especially when we'd review the class policy and the school honor code the day before. This is serious. I want to shout, Levi copied, Levi cheated, because it's mostly true. He did most of the cheating. Instead, I look over at him, hoping that he'll confess and we can leave. He keeps his chin down and his arms crossed over his chest. He looks like he's asleep. Middle school's tough. There's a lot of pressure coming at you from every angle. I think we can work this out and avoid any severe punishment. I'm not condoning cheating, and if it happens again, I will use the highest penalty in my power. Punishment. I don't know what the highest penalty is. Punishment. So, does anyone want to confess? I watch 15 seconds tick by on the clock. Plenty of time for Levi to be brave and own up. I agree. He doesn't. I didn't cheat, I whisper. Levi looks up. I didn't cheat. He says it louder than I did. What? Yes, you did. I'm not whispering anymore. Mr. Stoker takes a deep breath. I'm going to step in the hall so you can talk for a minute. He grabs a water bottle off his desk and leaves us alone. Why are you doing this? I ask as soon as Mr. Stoker closes the door. Levi shrugs. You're the one who cheated. I know. Tell him, I say. You won't get in trouble. You believe him? Levi looks at me for the first time. He's setting us up. It's a trap. It's not a trap. Not that I would know what a teacher's trap would look like. Levi shrugs. If we both stay quiet, what can he do? I don't want to think about what he can do. Maybe I'll get kicked out of middle school in my first week. Maybe that isn't a bad thing. Then Levi says, you didn't cover your answers. You put them right out where I could see them. And when you were done, you didn't even turn the test over on your desk. I thought you were sharing. What? Why would I share? I definitely wasn't sharing. I have a pain in my head thinking this could have all been avoided if I flipped my paper over. And I thought you were good at math. He doesn't say it like it's a compliment. Why would you think that? I don't like touching people, not even sharing hands, but I want to slap Levi at this moment. I can't believe I'm having violent thoughts. Middle school's turning me into a monster. You said it at lunch the first day. I didn't mean... whatever. Please tell him the truth. Math class is the only not awful part of my day. If Mr. Stoker thinks I'm a cheat, it could ruin those 50 minutes. Levi leans over and pulls something from his backpack. It's a camera. He aims at me and takes a picture. I throw my hands over my face a second too late. What are you doing? Don't take my picture. It's for my angry collection. What? Stop! He puts the camera back, but not before taking another picture of me, with my mouth hanging open. What's with a lightning bolt? He points at my necklace. Is it a Harry Potter thing? Mr. Stoker knocks loudly and opens the door. Just tell him you cheated, I yell at Levi. No. Why? He doesn't get a chance to answer. Mr. Stoker stands in front of us with his hands on his hips and his foot tapping. So, that's all he says. I didn't cheat, Levi says super quick. I didn't cheat either. I ball my hands in a fist. Why did I say either? For the next 15 minutes, Mr. Stoker lectures us on being honest and working hard and having principles, morals. But Levi and I never confess. Not that I have anything to confess to, other than borrowing one wrong answer. When we are finally allowed to leave, Levi and I walk out together. I'm mad. The only thing I've ever plotted before is graph points, but now I'm plotting revenge.